Hello everyone, so here is step 9 of our headstand journey. So today we're going to talk about moving the legs around and doing pretty shapes for either Instagram or whatever you want to do with them. But it's also really going to help you gain confidence in your headstand in being upside down and knowing that you're not going to fall in a very awkward way. So the easiest shape is your butterfly shape, so with your legs this way. So I'll demo facing you because I have no space here. It's this very small room, so I have to be away from the camera. And the next shape, really, we're going to talk about it in both at the same time. Your butterfly is easy and your straddle shape is also easy, and we'll go from butterfly to straddle quite easily. And then what you can work on from a straddle position is lowering down and start to work in that straddle entry that we can do later. Talking about entries, so there are different entries into headstands or into any inversions. You can enter with your tucked legs, okay? You can enter in some inversions by kicking, and I'll introduce today, we're not going to kick because we don't kick in headstand because of the neck. But you can enter it from a split position, and it's going to help you. That's easier in my opinion than the tucked position, and every time I've taught it to experienced yogis and yoginis, they've always found that it's a lot easier to do it this way. And so this is the way I enter some of the headstands that we'll talk about tomorrow or next step, which are the 7 deadly headstands in Ashtanga, because some of them, even though I do have the core to enter them in a tucked position, it really feels unbalanced, and for me it helps to enter it not in a straddle position, but in the splits position. You know, sometimes I think there's a very traditional way of doing things, but if for me straddle and piking is putting a lot of pressure on my head. And I find that the splits are really easy because I'm quite flexible, okay? So entering in the split puts less pressure on my head, in my opinion. So that's the way I like to do things. So let's talk about our butterfly. So you're going to enter your headstand just the usual way. You take one leg up, other leg up. And then from here, you can either go directly into your butterfly, or you can go up towards the ceiling and then come to your butterfly from here. And once you're in butterfly, you can play with your feet here. You can play with taking your legs in or pushing them up. And then from here, we can also work on extending the legs to the side and working into your straddle. And then when you're in your straddle, if you want, you can also work on core strength, lowering down slowly and coming back to almost like Prasarita Padottanasana. So this is going to prepare you for your straddle lift later. So those are the two, in my opinion, easiest shape in your headstand. Butterfly is quite easy. Straddle is the next easiest one. And then we can have eagle legs. You can have your splits, bow and arrow, your stag legs. You can work into your lotus. So for lotus or any shape that is really quite tricky, what I do sometimes is I'm used to it now, but before doing them in headstand, I work on them in shoulder stand. Just to find that where the legs are going, one leg has to go back, the other leg has to come in, and then the hip, and you try to work out your lotus. So sometimes it helps to work in shoulder stand first. So do it. Yeah, do it. And certainly when I do pincha, that sort of thing, and I do my legs shapes in pincha, sometimes I start with how I work on it in headstand, just try and find where my legs have to be going, and then I work on them in pincha. So, like I said, there's another entry, which is easier if you've got good flexibility, but I wouldn't recommend that you try it if you're a beginner. Remember your steps. You have this. I introduced this in step 9 for a reason. You have to have the core work to do it. and you shouldn't be kicking. And certainly you have to have the flexibility in your legs as well. I've taught it to some people who are not very experienced in the headstand and not enough flexibility in the legs, and it didn't work very well. They had neck not issues, but neck pain just the day after. So I said basically stop doing that, and we'll see how it works when we get back to the horse, because at the moment I can't see people, so it's, while I see them on the screen and I try to advise them on what to do, I'm not in their body and I can't really see if the neck is properly set up, if the shoulders are properly set up. So we do everything against the wall, but there's still a risk. And so I've learned basically that just, yeah, it's not a great thing to introduce if you haven't got to this stage, step 9, right? So basically you're going to set up the same way, but you're going to send one leg up. So you send one leg up, the one that you prefer, and see how here, taking my leg back is going to lift my front leg. And I can go into a splitsy position if I want. I can go to a bow and arrow position if I want. Yeah, that sort of thing. And then you can switch your legs. If I can come, oops, and try to find my balance. Good, all right, oh, no. Still not, all right. Both legs up. And then you can come back. Same thing. Go back with the other leg, bow and arrow. Splitsy if you want. And then squeeze your belly and come back down. Hop with your core. Right, so that's one entry that I favor when I do some of the headstands later for the ones that I fancy doing when there's a challenge. I don't really practice them. I'm not there yet, so I don't really practice them. I'll practice them when there's a challenge, and there's some of them that are easier for me than others. So there you have your legs. There's a challenge on Instagram that is called Resolution HS366, where we do handstands every day. So a little bit of practice every day goes a long way. And we do different shapes. So for example, for August, we've got stag leg, teapot, straddle, half pike, pincher, seaweed. Oh, seaweed is fun. Splits, merbabe. Merbabe is when you're crossing your feet like this. So basically there's lots of stuff that you can do, and you can do that in handstand, in pincher, you can do it in headstands as well. So join the challenge and do them in headstand if you fancy it. Yeah, you don't have to do any setup inversion, just do it for yourself, for your own fun. Now the seaweed is quite fun because you're going to start moving your legs around. And the way you work at that is basically you go into a straddle. So I'm going to lift and straddle just purely for the sake of it, but you don't have to, right? So, and then once you're in a straddle position, you're going to bend one leg and you're going to shift your weight one side and the other side, and again. And you do that a few times, and what you want is you want to make it look fairly pretty, which I'm not at the moment because I haven't really focused on that. That's not the point, yeah. But you make it pretty and you go as slow as you need, because later on what you do is you cut your film and you speed it up and it looks like all, you know, seaweedy, and it's really quite fun to do. So that's one thing to do. But do some different shapes, have fun with it. Eagle legs is quite nice, lady legs is quite nice. If you need information about that, just follow the challenge and watch the challenge 1 month, yeah, before you decide to do it. The ladies setting it up are really helpful. They post videos in their stories, so it's really quite fun to do. And what it will do is, I'm making it a step because it's going to take your confidence level a notch up. Yeah, you're going to be a lot more confident afterwards if you can move your legs around independently. If you, oh yeah, there's twist, but I haven't mentioned twist. You can twist as well. So I'm going to do stag legs to twist actually. Let's do stag legs. So you can do stag legs. Apologies for my t-shirt. And then you can twist and make it look pretty. Yeah? So when you're in headstand, there's a whole new level as well to be able to twist. So practice it maybe near a wall to start with, because twisting, when you're upside down, it's like, where am I supposed to twist? And even I don't know. I have to film and then see what works, okay, when we're on camera. But it's quite fun as well, because again, it's all about moving your body and your legs, and you can twist straight leg, you can twist in lotus, that's a whole new thing. And it's basically later on in the Ashtanga practice in the third series, you learn to twist your body, to go into a tripod headstand, twist your body, and land, for example, in arm balances to the side and stuff like that. So yeah, lots of things to learn. Listen, we're never done. We're never done in yoga, never done. Enjoy it, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.